Hello, my friends. John LaRuffa with another Straight Up Solo. And in this episode, we are going to go over my top 10 Euro-style solo games. Now, let me make a couple of things clear at the beginning. First of all, what do I mean by Euro-style? I mean something that has a drier theme, perhaps. It's more about mechanics. It's more about long-term strategy, so to speak. It has a low amount of luck usually in there. We're not talking a lot of dice rolling, and usually the game itself is missing some other major, I'll say, mechanic like deck building or let me see, maybe bag building or something else, some other thing that you could say, okay, this is a dice game, or this is a roll and write, or this is a this or that. I'm trying to strip away those and just focus on Euro games. Also, another caveat, I will not be adding to this list any of my favorite Uwe Rosenberg titles because honestly, I'm going to do a specific list on that in the near future. And I love Uwe Rosenberg games. They definitely fall into a Euro style game. I just didn't want to dominate the list with all those. And so know that those would be interspersed in here, but I'm going to set those aside and we'll talk about those some other time. So we're going to stay away from those Euro games from Uwe Rosenberg and focus on other things. So let us begin. First one on my top 10 list, my number 10 is Underwater Cities. Now, Underwater Cities is a really interesting game that is very, very tight in the kinds of things that you want to accomplish. It is essentially a modified worker placement game with some, I guess this does have a little deck building, but it's not a specific deck builder, like that's all it is. It's a combo of deck building and modifications of where you're putting your guys to do some worker placement. What's exciting about this game is that it's very hard to win, and there's a lot of different things that you can focus on that could get you distracted. So I love the challenge of playing this game. I think that it's very easy to play the AI with it. It usually takes about, 90 minutes or so tops, so you can definitely play it without too much issue from a setup standpoint. It's just very, very fun. And there's expansions which I don't have, which will enhance the different things you can do in the boards themselves. I don't have those because it was kind of a pricey expansion, but I still think this is a solid stand-up, multi-card use, so to speak. A lot of different things going on here, a lot of tightness and tension, and it's really a lot of fun. So, love this game. This is my number 10, Underwater Cities. Okay, number 9. Number 9 is, in a lot of ways, a very classic Euro experience, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about Crown of Amara. So Crown of Amara, look at that, both ways going backwards, is it is a very much like a pasted on theme, I would say. And that's where that plus the kinds of things you're doing, you're turning X resource into Y points and doing different things to maximize two different scoring tracks to try to bring them, up equally. And the lowest score that you have here is the one that you're going to get. A lot of fun. The boards are cool. They're slightly modular. You have a deck of cards that drives the actions that you're going to be using. Very, very tight game, difficult game, and one that you can play over and over to try to keep edging up the solo score that you need to win. So I really like this game, Crown of Amara. It's a great resource conversion game, and it's sort of a worker placement in and of itself too, because you're putting your workers down in 4 different regions, and then there's multiple things you can do depending on what you have going on. Just a lot of really good European crunchiness in here. I like this game a lot. Crown of Amara, that's number 9. Number 8, I will not leave out a Shem Phillips game, but I'm going to give the nod to Viscontz of the West Kingdom over Paladins of the West Kingdom. Why am I going to do that? Paladins West Kingdom is fantastic solo. So is this. But I think this one is actually just slightly more fun, and it is a smidge lighter than Paladins of the West Kingdom. I think this one itself has a lot of really good European tropes in it. It's a tight game to play. You're facing against a very challenging AI opponent. You're trying to convert all your, different things, maximize different strategies, or maximize different focuses in this game. So either you want to focus on building up the points in the center circle here, or maybe you want to focus on maximizing these bonuses out here, or the different books that you can do here. Either way, this game is very European in nature, in the fact that you're basically just trying to establish a strategy, stick to it. The cards have lots of different things that are going on. You have a lot of different optimizations. Really good game. I really like this one solo. Viscontz the West Kingdom is my number 8. Number 7. This is a little divisive, I think. Some people love this game. Some people do not love it. I love it. Number 7 is Newton. Newton, for me, is what makes if someone said, right away, tell me a good European game, I'd go right to this one, because this one is so much Euro in style. First of all, the theme is completely pasted on. Sorry, it just absolutely is. This could be a theme of anything, right? You've got spatial elements over here with the board. You have moving guys up to certain tracks to get certain points over here. You've got different travel mechanisms to try to land on points and unlock different things. It's all interconnected together. You're also trying to do a little bit of deck building, and you're using your cards and leaving them down at certain points to try to maximize your capabilities on your board. Just a lot of really cool interlocking mechanisms. Now in this one, you're not really playing against an AI at all. You're actually just trying to compete specifically for a high score. So I know that sometimes puts people off. I don't mind high score games at all. Just depends on the situation. It depends on the kind of joy I get playing the game. This one, I really have always really liked it. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the new expansion, which will come out, I don't know, a couple months from now. But this is just a great game, and one that clearly makes my list from a top solo standpoint in a European style of games. That's number 7. Number 6 is an absolute gigantic juggernaut. And I can barely even get this thing on camera, but you see what I'm talking about here. This is Anachrony. Now, Anachrony, I've got it in the Infinity box. This thing is gigantic. And I'm holding it like this because there's just so much content if you get your hands on all the stuff. It is really a gem of a worker placement game. It is overproduced, no doubt about it. There's a lot going on from a component standpoint, which is one of my detriments, actually, because it takes so long to set up and get ready to go. But it's so enjoyable once you do. It's not even that hard of a game to play. The multitude of different ways you can play this thing solo, depending on which versions you have and which bots you set up and how they play, really adds to some amazing replayability here. There's a ton of different things going on in this box. There's worker placement, there's conversion, there's bringing back guys back, there's maximizing different venues and things that you want to focus on from a resource standpoint, or maybe some points or specializations. There's optimization. There's all these things rolled into this one box. And I've just always really liked it. I've kept this game for a long time. I've had it for a while. Just a ton of fun to play. The only negative is that it does take a huge amount of table space, and it takes a long time to set up. And I've probably read the rules to this game over and over more than I've read most any other rule games, because they go a long time between plays because of how long it takes to set up, and that's my own fault. And when I do, I have to read the rules again and everything else. But again, Anachrony is just a great game. And the way that they use the time travel aspect of I borrow from the future, but then I got to pay it back in the timeline. Just some really cool stuff. And the theme here is not that pasted on, in the fact that they really try to give you a feel of a doomsday-like situation and a progression. So I will say that's unique about this one is, even though there's lots of resource conversion and trying to do different things with worker placement, etc., the theme actually, I think, works really well as far as a time travel kind of theme and paradoxes and stuff. Great job on there, and that would be my number 6. Number 5 is not an easy game to play solo either, but it's worth bringing up. And I will say that is Barrage. Barrage is a game about potential energy in lots of ways. You really can't see it too well here, but this is a big, fat, massive waterfall system with lakes and other things, streams and lakes. And it's all about turning that potential energy of the water into hydroelectric power plants and using that power to grow an infrastructure and build more. And you have this really cool resource wheel that you put stuff in as you use them, and you can't use actions later until they come back around. There's just so much goodness in this game, and it's very novel in the fact that the way the water goes and the way the AI opponent can divert it away from you and move it to different spots and how you're trying to figure that out is just very, very juicy of a puzzle. Really like it. The only reason it's tough to play AI-wise is that you have these massive decision trees that you have to kind of go through in these cards. And it's a lot of if this, then that, if this, then that, then these are the conditions, this is where it goes. And it's that way because the board is there's so many places, there's so many choices, there's so much going on. But it does work. It is an interactive experience with the solo, so you are fighting against them, and they are very competitive in order to win. So I really like Barrage. I think it's a lot of fun. It's definitely my number 5. Now, at this point, I would say that any of these could be, it was tough to choose my top 4 because these games I think are just really, really solid European style solo games. So I sat and thought and sat, and I came up with this order, but even then I've gone back and forth a little bit. Number 4, Stefan Feld's Bonfire. Bonfire is a tactical joy, and I'll say tactical because you are doing so much based on what's happening on the board that while you can have some strategies, there's just, it is all about tactical choices here. And normally I'm not a huge fan of that, but in this game it just really works. Everything is interconnected so well. When you're trying, the theme is kind of strange in a lot of ways. It's kind of like a druidic, I don't know. It's a fantasy theme, basically trying to start these bonfires and light up these portals and get everything to line up and have all it. It's really the theme. I'm not sure it's really all that exciting from my standpoint. It doesn't matter about the theme. This thing is just a tactical joy to play. So what you've got going on here is you've got your player board, and the player board, on your turn, you're going to pick some of these different pieces and put them down, and how you arrange this little puzzle is going to give you more tokens that you can spend. And these tokens that you spend make your actions more powerful. They allow you to do different things. And you're doing all sorts of different things in this game. You're trying to get these portals. You're trying to unlock people. You're trying to move around different folks and bring them around to your portals and score different ways. Very European in its style. Just a ton of fun. There's scoring conditions as far as cards you can get that maximize things for different things. There's other cards that give you certain in-game bonuses. There's a bunch of different resources in this that you have to use to open up different things and allow you to play different actions. Just a lot of stuff going on. Variable goals that you're going to be focusing on depending on what you want to do. And probably one of the hardest. I've never even come close to winning this solo. And I wonder if they know that, and that's why they put in there, like, if you want to reduce the difficulty, knock it down here, here, and here, because it is just very difficult to win this game. Now, maybe there are people out there that have figured out, and great for them. I still find it really fun to play, even if I don't have a chance of winning, I still really like it. So, that's Bonfire. I love that. That's my number 4. Number 3, Cooper Island. So, Cooper Island could be one of the most tight action worker placement games I've ever played. You only have a couple of different workers that you can place in the middle, and they have different shapes, and depending on the shape depends on where they can go. And you have this little tableau board over here, which you are trying to enhance by doing different things throughout the game to get more capabilities to open up. The game is just so intensely tight. The main mechanism is you're building up these little land tiles and stacking them on top of each other, and then when they stack up there, they give you more the higher the stack is, and you're trying to organize them in certain ways to accomplish some goals. You're trying to bring in some different ships that have different things on them. You've got shipping tracks. You've got different cards that allow you to score different points depending on your conditions. All of this stuff rolled into a very, very, very tight experience. And the AI is really good. It's driven by a deck of cards and very competitive. Takes some serious doing to be able to beat him. And just what's awesome about this game is that once you understand kind of the way it goes, you definitely take different steps up in your knowledge of how to play. The first time you play, your score is over here. Second time, it's like here. The third time here. Then all of a sudden, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. something clicks, and now my scores are up here, and now I'm doing better, but I'm still not breaking through. And then all of a sudden you figure out all this stuff that I did over here was setting myself up for stuff I need to do here. So if I want to maximize it, I've got to really optimize what I'm doing. And that's, I think, why it is such a good solo Euro game, that everything you do is interconnected and can really lead to some amazing moves, some big scores at the end. Big meaning like 20, I don't know, 25, 26. I mean, it's not a big scoring game, but that's a lot of scores. I think, I'm trying to remember, but that's a lot of points in a game like this, where you're getting points 1Z, 2Z here and there, but it really comes down to a bunch of maximization. So it's a really good game, in my opinion, to really, it's masterful strategy. There are some tactical elements, of course, because of how the AI is pushing on you and such, but you really want to, in this game, to do well, you really want to focus on a couple of areas and puzzle out how to get the best points out of those areas that you can. If you dabble in this and that and the other thing, you get a mediocre score every time. So that's Cooper Island. That's my number 3. Okay, number 2. This game really caught me by surprise, and I really like it. Merv. The Silk Road, the heart of the Silk Road. So Merv is just a very unique European game. What you've got going on here is some very interesting not worker placement, but turn order placement that will determine a lot of what you can do in your turns. There's a spatial element here of trying to build things on the board and protect those things from basically like being raided or have decays and stuff like that knocks them down to score. You've got some tracks over here that the higher you get, the more bonuses you can get. You've got other tracks over here which allow you to trade for different things, which lets you get and maximize different cards. Over here, depending on how you invest over here, really can help you maximize your score. In this area, you're pulling these walls and putting them in different places. You've just got so much going on. There's other cards here that work for different scoring opportunities. It's all just really well interconnected and a real brain burner of a game in my opinion. The one challenge with this game is you're playing against an AI opponent and then also like a static opponent, and it is a little bit tough to actually play this solo, which is unfortunate, but it kind of has to be, because the game and the choices are so complex as far as what to do and how to focus on it. In order for it to work, there is some min and maxing and different things that you have to figure out for the AI. So he's going to focus on this and then this and then this, or he's going to go this approach. So it is a bit of a heavy lift when it comes to that. But besides that, it is a very satisfying game to play. I really like it. And that is my number 2. Number 1 has also been featured in one of my other top 10 videos, and it is one of the main Euro games that I put in the top 10 video for essential board games, and that is Gaia Project. Again, like I said in that video, this is the quintessential European game. As far as I'm concerned, this embodies Euro like nothing else. The design of being able to, on your turn, do a variety of different actions, to move people onto the board, to buy things, to convert things to better technologies, to change resources into other things you need. The board interaction with the way that you generate power being able to be used for bonus activities. Scoring, depending on what round you're in, the variability of points, what's happening there. All of these things are just so well interlaced into a game that can be played over and over and over and over again. And as you see here, so many different factions, and these are all double-sided. So the amount of variety in this box is just legendary. The other thing is that the AI itself is not too bad, not too hard to control. It uses a system of cards. The cards point to different things, and that allows the AI to take, all the main actions basically of expanding, upgrading, building in different places, moving up on the research track, and then focusing on different things depending on which of the, I think there's more than 4, which of the different factions it's playing. So I think this is my top number one European game. And if I had to choose anyone, it would be a very hard choice on all these, but this would be the one because there's just so much variety in this box. You could play it again and again, over and over, trying different factions, trying different strategies, and you'd have a rich experience every single time. Plus, the AI is very challenging, and you can dial up the challenge if you want as well. Just a ton of different things in this box and a lot of goodness. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate those who have. And if you're going to buy some Euro games, some Euro themed games, I hope you consider some of these choices from a solo standpoint. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.